I'm Zach.
And this is our friend Andy, and we are going all over Western Canada with Andy. So I hope you enjoy our adventures. The last video we explored Lake Louise. This video we're going to show you some of the top spots to stop and visit as you drive through Yoho National Park. Our first stop is to the Spiral Tunnels. We're currently in Yoho National Park and we are stopping along the roads, and our first stop is to the Spiral Tunnels, which is part of the railroad.
Here we are in Kicking Horse Pass. Apparently when the railroad decided they wanted to build a railroad through here, the mountain was too steep, they couldn't get the train up the hill. So instead of cutting the hillside away, which would have been pretty much impossible at that point, they decided to make tunnels and make the thing like spiral up the hill. So it like drives over itself.
They have a train that comes through here about every 15 to 30 minutes, and this is one of their major transportations for goods. So you can see the engine and the caboose at the same time going around this tunnel. So right now we're watching the train spiral through the tunnels. You can see the very top going through the top tunnel, then you can see in the middle, and now it's just coming right below us. So we get to see three parts of the same train, and it's just spiraling. It's really cool. It took them 20 months and 1,000 guys to build these tunnels, and they built from each end of the tunnel, and then they met in the middle. So it's so steep, it has a 4.5% grade, and it's the steepest in the whole continent. Before it became spiraled, there was a lot of runaway trains because it was so steep on the way down that they couldn't stop the trains. They solved this problem by building the spiral train tracks. Now we're at the upper spiral. We were just at the lower spiral where the branch off is. The upper spiral is heading up to the waterfall. Cathedral Mountain is 3,255 feet long, has a curvature of 288 degrees, and the difference in elevation between the upper and lower is 48 feet only. Pretty amazing. Our second stop is to Takakkaw Falls. So that was a tight turn. I guess if you have a big vehicle, you can't really just drive and do the turn. You have to back up and then keep going. So if there's a bus or something, and if you're over 21 feet, they don't recommend taking your vehicle up here. It wasn't that bad in a car though. We made it to the parking lot of Takakkaw Falls, and we're gonna go check it out. It's supposed to be a nice little paved pathway to the base of the falls. Takakkaw Falls is 384 meters tall. It is the second tallest waterfall in Canada. It is 7 times the height of Niagara Falls. And it's hard to see, but there's 4 different steps of this waterfall that you could kind of make out as you take a look at it. Pretty impressive waterfall though. Definitely a little misty as you get closer. There's Andy on the rock, you can barely see him. It is so misty here, you're definitely gonna get a little wet. Daly Glacier is about 350 meters from this waterfall, and that glacier actually feeds this waterfall. So this is a glacier-fed waterfall. And you can tell because the water and the river is very milky colored. Our third stop is to the beautiful Emerald Lake. We're currently at our next stop, which is Emerald Lake. It's a gorgeous emerald color lake, and there's a lodge that you could stay at if you wanted to, or eat. It's really nice. Emerald Lake. There's multiple hikes you could do from Emerald Lake. We're gonna do the Emerald Lake Circuit, which is 5.3 kilometers and is supposed to be flat all the way around the lake. So behind me you can see this clearing. This is from a big avalanche. The avalanches are actually pretty important because it destroys some of the trees, everything basically in its path, but things regrow and it's nice and green and shrubby. I don't know if that's a word. Nice and green and shrubby. And so then it's a great food source for the bears because a lot of berries will come up after an avalanche. And you can see the thick trees, the kind of green trees in between, and thick trees again. We made it to the end of Emerald Lake and now we're gonna loop back around. It's been flat the whole way. Really nice little trail. If you go around the lake going clockwise, you're right along the lake for the first half, and then the second half you're in like this forest. You could kind of see the lake popping out, but not that often. So we're almost back. We are looping around and ending at the lodge. So they have a lodge you could stay at Emerald Lake, and they have a restaurant and canoeing and a whole bunch of things to do right here. I think it'd be a lot of fun to stay here. So this is the lodge. Little bar. Our fourth stop in Yoho National Park is to Natural Bridge. So we made it to Natural Bridge, which is about a 5-minute drive from Emerald Lake in the Yoho National Park. So we're gonna take a look and check it out. You can see the bridge right there. The water eroded the really soft limestone, which caused this formation. Water broke the rock lengthways, which is kind of cool.
And there's mosquitoes here.
And there's a lot of mosquitoes all over Banff, and Yoho, and Lake Louise, and Jasper. Our last stop we recommend going to in Yoho National Park is to Wapta Falls. Our next stop in the Yoho National Park is Wapta Falls. The hike is approximately 3 miles round trip and you gain approximately 410 feet elevation. This is a relatively easy hike and only takes about an hour and a half. So we made it to Wapta Falls, about 2.4 kilometers down, and it's probably about a 20-minute drive from the city of Golden. I hope you enjoyed exploring Yoho National Park. Join us for our next video as we take you to the top places to explore in Kootenai National Park. Please subscribe below to follow more of our adventures.